Employment Opportunity Officer, Curtis Forbes, who will now serve also as Dutchess County's Human Rights Officer. Curtis is here. Thank you, Curtis, as well. To assist in our efforts, we will also create a Diversity Advisory Board. This board will provide input and feedback on the work of the Human Rights Officer and assist the county in efforts to more greatly diversify our workforce. Civil service governs the hiring practices of all municipalities. And when we recruit for positions or hold civil service exams, there is often low participation from members of the minority communities. We wish to confront that. So I'd like to extend my thanks to the Northern Dutchess NAACP President, Eloise Moxie, and County Legislator Barbara Jeter Jackson for taking the steps and keeping us accountable and making this come to fruition. Thank you, Barbara. She's gonna keep our feet to the fire. Is Miss Eloise here? She's not. Miss Eloise has really committed a great number of now years to filling in with the absence of a human rights officer in Dutchess County. She's done a wonderful job, and we're very, very thankful. And if you wouldn't mind, anytime you see her, just ask her for a bit of carrot cake, best carrot cake in the world. I don't want to be accused of pay for play, but she did bring us a carrot cake to the office, and I enjoyed every bite of it. The tragic events that took place in Pleasant Valley this past November, leaving 2 children and 2 parents dead, is a horrific reminder that domestic violence can strike any time, any place, and in the most heinous way. Dutchess County continues to focus on this critical issue, and rightfully so. Our collaboration with the District Attorney, Sheriff's Office, the Department of Community and Family Services, Grace Smith House, and Family Services, Inc., has never been stronger. Through their coordination and their hard work, victims can access assistance and shelter, while law enforcement is able to better prosecute and hold accountable those who abuse. In its October 2013 report, the County Legislature's Citizen Advisory Committee on Domestic Violence identifies gaps in services that state assistance can help address. With domestic violence 911 calls averaging about 13 per day, we must continue our efforts. We have asked for continued state funding assistance to accomplish this goal, and I again am grateful to Assemblywoman Dee Dee Barrett for taking up the call. Of particular importance is the Grace Smith House Teen Violence Initiative and our own home visit program. One sheds light on violence in teen relationships, and there is great violence in teen relationships. The other has greatly improved law enforcement's interaction with victims of domestic violence, helping to keep them safe. Funding is necessary to keep these optional programs alive, and we intend to advocate for it. Leading that charge have been great community leaders, and I'd like to thank for their efforts to help curb domestic violence District Attorney Bill Grady, Sheriff Butch Anderson, and also County Legislator Donna Bollner. Along with them, Brian Doyle from Family Services and Renee Follett from the Grace Smith House. Thank you all for your advocacy and support. Another program we like to highlight is GREAT. I mean, it's great. No, it's great. That's a bad joke. Programs like GREAT have been long-standing successes in Dutchess County as we focus efforts on reducing gang activity, drug abuse, and youth violence in our community. Using a strength-based approach, specific components of GREAT will be incorporated into Catherine Street Community Center's Summer Enrichment Program. This partnership demonstrates the positive relationships that can exist between criminal justice and community agencies, diminishing the attractiveness of gangs and reducing county costs for juvenile detention. For generations, Catherine Street has been changing lives for the better, and Shirley Adams has been at the forefront. Shirley, thank you for all you have done. This community is made better because of your service. With the work of Catherine Street and Shirley's leadership as the precursor and the work of her own youth board as a foundation, I propose a new approach to addressing the needs and challenges facing our young people by creating the Dutchess County Youth Board and Coordinating Council. Modeled after the successful Criminal Justice Council, we will bring together the best and brightest of our stakeholders and unleash the talent and experience found throughout those agencies and organizations serving our kids. Its mission will be to strengthen community and family interaction with our young people in an effort to prevent crime, improve quality of life, and empower young people to lead productive lives and achieve greater success for themselves and their family. By repurposing our youth board, the Coordinating Council will bring together representatives from government, not-for-profit, businesses, our faith-based community, and educational institutions. The council will examine community risk factors, study best practices from other communities, and develop strategies to better address the challenges facing young people today. Additionally, I will ask the council to develop community coalitions throughout Dutchess County. By empowering local volunteers, local communities, local neighborhoods, and local families in each region, we can more effectively engage the community and empower our young people. Brian Doyle from Family Services, Kathleen Murphy from the Center for Child Abuse Prevention, Commissioner Bob Allers, and legislators Marge Horton of East Fishkill and April Farley of Beacon will help to shape the council's mission and select its members. Please join me in thanking all of them for their commitment. This is a critical effort. Our community cannot forget about those young people who are living in fear, living in violent situations, living just outside the reach of hope. It was the reason I entered into public service in 1994, because my community wasn't paying attention to the needs of its kids. And it is the responsibility of this county, not the government, but the county as a family, to confront it together. They will focus on teen violence, gang activity, child abuse, and exploitation, as well as our growing drug addiction problem. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem. Drug overdose death rates in the United States have more than tripled since 1990. The number of fatalities in Dutchess County due to a drug overdose mirror those national trends. Working along with legislators Angela Flesland and Ken Roman, our health and mental hygiene departments are collaborating with CAPE, the Coalition for Addiction and Prevention Education, to conduct forums to generate awareness and dialogue between parents, young people, law enforcement, and service providers. Now, of course, forums alone are not enough. So internally, we formed a task force bringing together the Departments of Health, Mental Hygiene, and Community and Family Services to coordinate the county's response to drug abuse. This task force, led by our Health and Human Services Cabinet and its chair, Mary Kay Dolan, outlined a work plan for key county and community stakeholders to enhance communications, coordinate activities, and implement a comprehensive response. Our campaign will include the new Youth Coordinating Council and seek to engage families, schools, faith-based organizations, and our not-for-profits. I thank all those who have focused on this epidemic and our intervention and prevention efforts so that together we can save lives. Please join me in thanking Legislator Angela Flesland for spearheading this important effort on behalf of county government. You've heard me say this before, but government structure in New York hasn't changed much over the last 200 years. It relies on the same rules and expectations, delivers many of the same outcomes, if we even know what those outcomes are, and there yet is just so much more of it. As Governor Cuomo points out, there are 10,500 different government layers in the state of New York. 327 of them are found in Dutchess County. I suggest reducing that number and returning more tax dollars to our taxpayers. In its first year, our Municipal Consolidation and Shared Services Grant Program was a success and has garnered attention throughout the state. Together with the legislature, we set aside $2 million for municipalities to consolidate and or share services. In 2014, we continue the program, but we will add a new top priority. the outright dissolution of a division, layer, or jurisdiction of government. We will continue funding shared services and consolidation, but we'll give priority to those projects that save taxpayer money by eliminating an entire government entity. And now this year, additionally, we will consider applications from special districts, such as fire and library districts, seeking to consolidate and or dissolve. Ladies and gentlemen, I know the ideas are out there. I know that the desire to do this exists. And it is time we put our commitment to the test. We have too many layers of government. There are too many redundant approval processes. There is too much duplication, and it is time to reduce it in Dutchess County. And the supervisors and mayors of Dutchess County have been working hard. They know the challenge, and we want to help. We've learned so much from one another over these past 2 years, and we have more to gain. Several supervisors made a recommendation that we're announcing today, and I'd like to thank Aileen Rohr from Hyde Park, Dave Kelly from Pauling, Todd Tancredi from Poughkeepsie, Bob Lacola from Fishkill, Randy Casal, Dutchess County's mayor, the mayor of Beacon, and John Merwin from Millerton. They suggested, and this year we will convene a consolidation and shared services summit to implement best practices, provide an update on grant projects, and discuss areas of greater consolidation. We will all be in the room together, talking about how to drive down cost, talking about the ways to implement consolidation, and we will deliver a result to the taxpayers. You deserve it. Now, the county seeks to partner in every way possible. Last year, our Shared Services Director, Chris Barkley, set out on a mission to meet with every supervisor, mayor, and nonprofit executive who would open their door. He explained and marketed our shared services opportunities and solicited ideas for more. We listened to you and have responded, adding to what we provide, all of which can conveniently be found on our redesigned, nationally awarded website. Number 2 to some little place in Virginia, if you can imagine that. Second best in the nation. Thanks. The team at the Office for Central and Information Services, under its commissioner's leadership, Tim Mahler, will continue to expand, promote, and provide our county's shared services. We are the centralization of service. Lean on us. Let us help you drive down your cost. Let us wring out greater efficiencies, and let's produce a better product for the taxpayer. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Chris, and all of you at OCIS for your work. Thank you. Tourism and agriculture are the largest components of our economic engine. Our farms and attractions draw hundreds of thousands of visitors. The same components and beauty that make Dutchess County a great place to live also make us a great place to visit. In 2013, New York's tourism industry generated $7.7 billion in state and local taxes and added 25,000 jobs. In Dutchess County, visitors spent over $400 million. It remains the fastest growing sector of our economy. This past September, the Hudson Valley Food and Wine Festival held at Rhinebeck Fairgrounds attracted more than 18,000 visitors, including hundreds on a special train from New York City, a train from New York City. How they were able to get from Grand Central to Rhinecliff, I'll never know, but they pulled it off. Don't look for that ticket when you go down to Grand Central, but you may someday soon. Yeah, I know, I should get going, right? Over the last year, tourism venues in Dutchess have expanded with the establishment of new agribusinesses such as Crown Maple, Dutch Spirits, Millbrook Distillery, and Dutchess Hops. This year, Dutchess County Tourism will continue to brand Dutchess County as a distinct destination and setting a goal to increase visitation by 10%. I know we can hit this and exceed that 10% thanks to the efforts of the Dutchess County Tourism Promotion Agency and its leader, Mary Kay Verba. Mary Kay, thank you for your service. From unparalleled natural resources and arts venues to amazing historic sites and farms, from our rail trails to a walkway over the Hudson, from baseball to the largest agricultural fair in the state, tourism in Dutchess generates millions of dollars and thousands of jobs. As we fight off the effect of this lagging economy, tourism continues to lead the way. Previously, I announced the For Our Future Economic Development Plan to reform, retain, reinvest, and recruit, and an alliance of our economic development entities as part of our first ever economic development strategy for the county. Our Deputy Commissioner of Strategic Planning and Economic Development, Ron Hicks, has been working diligently on that strategy, which includes assessment of our economy and 6 new programs with goals, specific goals, objectives, and action plans to advance and diversify our economy, and we must diversify our economy. 71% of new jobs are created by small businesses. Of those, 73% are sole proprietors and 52% are home-based. What does this all mean? It means your neighbor is more likely to create a new job in our community than any large corporation, making small businesses, the heart of our local economy and the best bet for future growth. The most important component of our economic development strategy is a business retention and expansion program. This requires business surveys and creating a database of all businesses. And just like you would do in an emergency, and we have an emergency, we determine those most at risk and then strategically target and assist them. The second, an expedited permitting and review process. One of the greatest obstacles facing any business expansion or the attraction of a business in the Northeast is the protracted and duplicative permitting and review process. While the county has limited control over federal, state, and local regulatory agencies, we can lead by example and solicit government partners to partner with us to attract jobs and new investment. Now, the 3 county departments with permitting and review authority are the Departments of Health, the Department of Public Works, and Department of Planning and Development. Each is unique with their own mission and obligations. Yet, in too many ways, they operate independently, unfortunately, leaving some important projects with unnecessary layers of red tape. A consolidated and expedited permitting process will enable a project that creates good-paying jobs, puts our local labor force to work, and creates a positive economic benefit to be given priority status. The county will focus our efforts to advance that project with a speedy time frame. To further expedite permitting, we will implement a professional certification pilot program. This partnership with participating municipalities will enable an architect or professional engineer registered and licensed in the state of New York to self-certify that the plans they file are in compliance with applicable laws. This will reduce the amount of time a builder would normally wait for a permit or review. To the supervisors and mayors, we'll be reaching out to you to identify partners to participate in this pilot program. The third deals with infrastructure. 15 years ago, Dutchess County launched our Partnership for Manageable Growth to protect farmland and invest in infrastructure. Through those years, we invested $6.5 million in the preservation of over 3,000 acres of active farmland and critical open space. Yet, no funding was sought for water and sewer expansion. The funding for this program has expired, and now is the time to refocus it. In order to assist agribusiness, provide strategic economic opportunity, and revitalize our community centers, we must invest in infrastructure. We need water and wastewater to support job creation and stimulate redevelopment in commercial corridors. Focused infrastructure development also prevents sprawl and enables sustainable housing development while strengthening our agricultural industry. Our infrastructure planning and investment partnership will leverage federal dollars, state aid, and our own commitment of $5 million with private investment and municipal matching funds, all focused on infrastructure projects that redevelop our community centers or lead to significant job creation and private investment. Business attraction. We cannot wait for large employers to come to us. We must independently and aggressively market our assets and available space beyond our borders. To that end, we've developed a business attraction program, and this year we will contract with the Economic Development Corporation's External Marketing Council to implement it. Dutchess County has over 2.5 million square feet of vacant commercial and industrial space. 2.5 million square feet. Much of this has been empty for years and has cost us jobs, tax revenue, and other economic benefits. In partnership with the External Marketing Council, we now have a comprehensive database of vacant and other commercial and industrial properties. And to help fill this empty space, Dutchess County will participate in a new lead generation program. in development with the New York State Empire State Development, the New York State Economic Development Council, the Hudson Valley Economic Development Corporation, and Dutchess County's Economic Development Corporation's EMC. This is our alliance working together. Our new business attraction program includes a public-private branding and promotional effort. This will require resources to be effective, and I will ask our state representatives and the county legislature to match the EMC's funding for a targeted marketing campaign to fill the 2.5 million square feet of vacant space, which has the potential to create more than 12,000 new jobs. I'd like to extend our thanks to the Dutchess County Regional Chamber of Commerce and the Hudson Valley Young Professionals for their partnership with us to improve the economic climate here in Dutchess County. In particular, and very timely, after, I don't know, a billion years, Charlie North, the president of the Dutchess County Regional Chamber of Commerce, has decided to retire, and Dutchess County is grateful to him. He, in fact, deserves a hug and maybe a kiss. There is no one like him, and no one has advocated for the business community in this county with more smarts, more strategy, and more personality than Charlie North. Now we focus on the future. Entrepreneurial development. In order to help foster entrepreneurial growth and provide a network for startup businesses, I've asked Charlie and the Dutchess County Regional Chamber of Commerce, as well as their Hudson Valley Young Professionals, I think represented here tonight by James Lentz from TEG and Jennifer Powensky from the Chazen Companies. Are they both here? Wave. They're here. Nice round of applause to their leaders. Thank you. We've asked them to lead a strategy for entrepreneurial development and young professional retention and attraction. Additionally, we're in the planning stages to bring a startup weekend to one of our college campuses. These are 54-hour events where developers, designers, marketers, and product managers come together to share ideas, form teams, build products, and launch new businesses. The next wave of economic growth will ride in on the shoulders of young professionals. These young, motivated innovators aren't tethered to a time zone and don't expect to work for any one employer very long. They live in a world with no borders, problem solve in a less structured way, and can connect to anyone, anywhere, at any time. With over 20,000 college students calling Dutchess County home, so many talented young business leaders, and our proximity to the business capital of the world, we must engage these millennials. By leveraging Dutchess County's staying power, we need their help, input, and investment. We'll ask them, why? Why Dutchess? What brought you here? What can we do to keep you here? How can you help make this the community you call home and build your business in? We've asked the Hudson Valley Young Professionals to partner with us in a campaign to engage and empower this generation of business leaders and entrepreneurs. While the Dutchess County Industrial Development Agency is an independent public authority separate from county government, it is our greatest tool for new business attraction and the sixth point in our strategy. A recent audit by the New York State Comptroller has made clear the IDA needs immediate reform. Working with Legislature Chairman Rob Rollison and Deputy Commissioner Hicks, we've outlined a proposal that we will submit to the chairman of the IDA that includes diversifying the board and the county taking over responsibility for reporting, compliance, and management. The IDA will be brought into statutory compliance and will implement best practices recommended by the State Comptroller and its State Authorities Budget Office. Lastly, as part of right-sizing county government and in pursuit of creating a one-stop shop for business, Dutchess County Planning and Development will align with the Dutchess County Economic Development Corporation to provide updated demographic, economic, and GIS data. This important information will be used to monitor and evaluate our economic development strategy. We must ensure our economic development programs remain relevant, and the strategy responds to an evolving, competitive environment. Economic development doesn't occur from a prepared agenda or from closed quarterly meetings, and our efforts cannot be limited by past practice or bureaucratic structure. I have seen the passion in the eyes of our business leaders. I have listened to their call for a new approach, and we are responding. It is time to re-engage this community in a robust dialogue about our future, to allow the business community that rebounded from devastating job losses in the 1980s and 90s to be reborn. Through roundtable forums, media campaigns, and our communication effort, we will bring together business leaders from all communities and all sectors to engage in a countywide comeback. And no one place is more critical to that comeback than the county's seat, the city of Poughkeepsie. I am tired of the bad press across this country where they choose to describe this county's largest city as an afterthought. This is the county seat, and it is time that we treat it as such. And that is why the revitalization of the waterfront and redevelopment of the surrounding neighborhoods, all of the neighborhoods, is absolutely necessary. The county, city, Scenic Hudson, Walkway, Metro North, and other stakeholders have been working hard on a waterfront redevelopment strategy. By incorporating the many projects along the riverfront with transit-oriented development at the Poughkeepsie train station, we can infuse new growth and new energy in the city for all its neighborhoods and well beyond. The strategy and corresponding zoning code is nearly ready for review by the City Council. Once adopted, the MTA can promote the plan and seek developers for their property. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no time for delay. The future of Dutchess County is tied to the future of the city of Poughkeepsie. Its success is our success. Its failure is our failure. And we have to ensure that we are successful. Before I took office, the Dutchess County Airport cost the county hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. In just 2 years, we cut the county's subsidy of the airport 35%. That's a savings to taxpayers of over $250,000. This operating deficit, of course, and please remember this operating deficit does not account for the airport's annual economic impact of $44 million. But to evaluate the airport's future, I requested a comprehensive audit by our county comptroller, Jim, thank you for that, and commissioned a financial analysis by highly renowned Stephen Baldwin Associates. They provided key recommendations, with two being the most critical. The first, water and sewer must be provided for any reasonable expansion, and the second, Dutchess County should hire a private organization to assume airport operations. In December, we were awarded a state economic development grant to bring water to the airport and are pursuing additional funds for wastewater on site. In so doing, we can promote private investment and new private sector jobs. This will assist in attracting a private operator and retaining Sikorsky AAG. With 60 private sector jobs and a $5 million payroll, AAG can be a catalyst for the private development of the airport. In the next weeks, we will seek an experienced fixed-based operator to manage, develop, and market the airport. By reinvigorating our airport advisory board, investing in needed water and wastewater, and privatizing operations, the Dutchess County Airport can be an unparalleled economic asset, and it is time it performs as one. Now, while we seek to privatize airport operations, one county asset has already achieved the same. Dutchess Stadium is a county park, and it is owned by county government. It was built on land owned by the Beacon City School District. Yet, it is operated and managed by a contracted private sector partner, Keystone Management Group, parent company of the Hudson Valley Renegades. The Renegades pay us rent and other fees which cover our expenses. They cover our expenses. Now, the debate to build and own a stadium occurred in 1992. I was in high school. Since then, this county has seen significant benefits from hosting this successful minor league baseball business. And make no mistake, minor league baseball is big business. The Renegades employ over 200 people. They support dozens of nonprofit jobs. They support dozens of not-for-profits. They attracted over 3 million fans to their games and millions more to concerts, carnivals, car shows, and high school and college competitions. All of this generates sales tax revenue to the county, profits to neighboring businesses and paychecks to local residents. The Renegades contract expires at the end of 2016, and we will work to negotiate a mutually beneficial agreement. We should, though, enjoy the economic benefit that they are, embrace the team we love, and ensure they know Dutchess is the only home for them. Minor League Baseball, though, is less about the sport and more about something less tangible yet exceptionally more valuable. It's about making memories. From across the world, young men yearning to make it big in America's pastime come here. Thousands of men and women have interned, studied, worked, and honed their skills employed here. Millions of fans and families travel from throughout the East Coast to this stadium for exciting baseball, great family fun, and memories that last a lifetime. And they do it all in a place, on a field, called Dutchess. Whether a county-owned ballpark, support of a community college, struggling business, or challenge facing a family, the work we do and lives we live require partnership, a willingness to compromise, and a certain amount of trust, even when we have doubt. The comeback trail is steep and it is arduous. And while the state of our county is fragile, our people are resilient and our potential remains strong. Strong, resilient, honest. I think you deserve at least that from your county government, and I think you deserve that from me. Those were the lessons that he taught us. My grandfather, Albert D'Annunzio. He wanted me to collect stamps. I hated collecting stamps. But I did it because it made him proud. And I think in some very strange way, that's why I entered into public service. The concept of giving back, not for one's personal satisfaction, but for the pride of others. I think you expect that from us. He shared stories of sacrifice in his service to the United States Army, growing up with significant challenges, raising 2 daughters, one who raised 3 terrific boys, two of whom have made great success. The other is the county executive. And he watched his grandkids grow. He wanted nothing more from us than respect to others, love of family, and a commitment to giving back. He never got to see my name on the ballot. He died before I ran for village trustee. But I think 20 years later, he might be proud of his grandson. Many of you know me quite well and others don't. I take personal the challenge that you have given me, and I take serious the sacrifice we've asked of you. I was once told when I ran for county legislature, one of the re-election campaigns, the person running against me decided to attack me. And he said, "Don't worry, it's not personal." There are 25 county legislators who serve this county. Everything they do is personal. The service that the business leaders commit to this county is personal. The leadership that these people, Butch Anderson, Jim Coughlin, Bill Grady, Brad Kendall, Rob Rollison, the town supervisors, the village mayors, all of us, it's personal. And we allow ourselves to get lost in the rhetoric. We allow ourselves to get lost in the anger, and we allow the turbulence of the day to take hold. Not in this county. Don't let that be the message we send to people who call this place home. Don't let that be the message we send to those who want to move here. And don't let anyone dictate to us that we can't overcome any challenge, that we aren't resilient, that we don't have before us the greatest potential. You know me quite well. If nothing else, I am unabashedly sincere. I take very personally the work that we do, and I welcome the challenge and criticism. I care deeply about this community, and I love every minute that you have given me as the honor of serving as your county executive. I am always optimistic, to a fault. I know that greater things are to come, that people, when working together and putting aside their differences, can bring about great change. And that despite the challenge, despite the tax burden, despite the unpopular decisions, we can push through it together. And I rarely tire. In other words, I'm highly caffeinated. But these last few months have been tiring. But I know this. The challenge that you've put before me is not greater than the challenge many of our families, businesses, and individual residents face. And we will never forget that. And let me tell you this. I would never, ever suggest to anyone that they should sacrifice for us. I suggest to government that it must sacrifice more for all of you. The decisions we've made have consequence, and I accept my responsibility. And all I ask as your county executive is for your trust and your patience. I will do everything in my power to reduce the burden you carry and improve the state of our county. And for that, I am grateful. May God bless you, and may He continue to bless Dutchess County. Thank you.